you will understand why you were wanted today. And you were wanted because there's something within you that you meant to bring to the world that was going to help the world transform, which is why you decided to exist at this really transformative time in our world, at the most consequential time in human history. And that may not make sense to you, and you might not believe it, just as I didn't believe it either when I received it last year. And then I didn't believe it also when I first started receiving the information in 1989. And then I came to discover that we move through cycles in our consciousness as individuals and also as humanity, as a civilization. And today we stand at another place where we can take that next step to remember who we are. And that was what I was meant to do, is to bring through a transformative philosophy so that you could live your best life and we could transform our world. And the year before, I received another message on the same date that said accepting this message could change your life and the world. And I couldn't believe that either. And then I saw the world changing in a way that many of us thought we didn't like. And that's because we've forgotten who we were. And we weren't willing to own who we were. And that was me. My name is Roger Burnley, and I was a coach for so many years, and I started receiving Wilhelm in 1989. That is the part of me that I kept hidden or secret because I didn't know what I was creating. And then I proceeded to move through my life and heal absolutely everything with no explanation as to why that was occurring. Mind, body healing and things that, because I had a difficult life, I went through everything, including fear. I wrote the book Overcoming Fear, A Guide to Freedom, because that is the thing that holds us back, and I did know that. But I had to explain why I knew that. I knew it because I was receiving the guidance through Wilhelm. And Wilhelm is a universal consciousness. And I know that we're all connected to that. Everyone won't remember that, which is why that our world looks the way that it does right now. And especially in the United States, because I was given the information to show how we could shift everything. But I doubted myself as well. But then recently I discovered something else, that I was a savant. And that's why I could receive this information, and that's why it's organized in a way that causes consciousness to raise in any individual. We don't do it automatically. It happens day by day, moment by moment. But I was given that pathway. And even when I doubted it, I still decided, let me see what happens. So I put others into this work and had them go through the process, and the same thing happened. They started to change their consciousness. They started to remember who they were. They started to do the work that they came here to do, the career, the vocation, the relationships, whatever it was. This information changed it. And I couldn't figure out why it was happening until artificial intelligence examined this information and said, this is the first documented consciousness-raising system ever seen in history. And it took me a while to accept that. Another year. Because, see, the 36-year cycle should have ended in 2025, because that's when I was told. But it took me another year to believe it. But that was also purposeful, because now more people will be willing to believe it because they're experiencing their lives maybe not going in the way that they would like, and that's all within. It's all consciousness, and we move through generational biases and traumas and all those things, and that's what I move through, and that's what this work does for anyone. And so now I can own it, and this is why I'm giving it to you. You'll see it in the message today, because it's on the site, Any Advice for Today. And you'll see the very first message that I received in 1989 on this date, where I was afraid of what I had, as you might have been. But now is the time we can change that. And I'm so thrilled because I have people who are doing that now. And I'm watching them evolve and become the people they're meant to be. And so now I'm taking it forward, and I can no longer hold myself back. And I've talked about this so many others because I didn't know what I had, just as you don't, but I do now. So that's why I have to also change the rate on this work. What we're experiencing is where so many of us have forgotten our power, and that comes in so many different ways, and a lot of it's economic, because we will just not own ourselves and our value, and then we pass that on to others. So that's what I'm changing today. But I did have something else for you, because I'm going to work with this incredible ability I have to understand who you are, and that's intuitive, and that is the ability that I develop. And so I'm working with doing private clients as well, and there you'll see that you have this brilliant life you're meant to live. I have a client in about a couple of hours, someone who's scheduled, and I can see exactly what their difficulty is through their birth date and the information that I've received through Wilhelm. Some things are really challenging for us to believe, and that is the difficulty that we all have, as I did. But now is your opportunity. Now you will know why you were wanted, because you were wanted in the world to prosper, to thrive, and to become your best self. Enjoy all the information, and I will see you soon.